Okay, so here I am today with a rant. Normally I don't do a lot of rants. Out of the 201 videos I've made, I don't have any rants. But this is just about the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, and I have to say something about it because this drives me nuts. Now, first of all, let me clear this up for you. This is probably going to be a rather offensive thing. Maybe I'm going to try to not say anything offensive here. I might, if you take it that way, whatever. I'm not trying to be offensive. But this is a little bit of a disturbing footage here, and it's bugging me. So I'm going to say something about it now. And right here is this is probably the craziest one I've ever seen. This should explain it on its own. Here you go, I'll zoom in and everything.
Welcome back to the big story. Now to a story that has enraged many Americans, and rightly so, but none more so than those who have been personally affected by it. It's a question of rights, free speech, and appropriate conduct at the funerals of fallen soldiers. Members of the fundamentalists Westboro Church of Topeka, Kansas, routinely demonstrate all around the country and have at all places military funerals. Now, its members say the military deaths in Iraq are God's punishment for Americans' tolerance of gays in and out of the military. Well, now the father of one of those Americas...
Alright, let's pause right there. Now, if you're seeing most of the footage here, you could obviously see some of the stuff. I mean, there's signs here that say God hates you. First of all, I'm not the best guy to go to with religion due to the fact that it's a touchy subject that I don't usually like to get involved to for that main reason. And a lot of people have different opinions on it, obviously due to different religions, different beliefs, and atheism and several other things overall. And I usually stray from the topic. I don't pick any side. Personally, I'm kind of off on my own thing, that I don't choose anything because I don't want to say I'm right and you are wrong. So I stay away from every side because I kind of rule out religion important when I meet anybody anyway. I usually look at the person here. But this is beyond a freedom of speech. This is just complete discrimination towards gays right here. I mean, this woman, Shirley Phelps Roper, is on with her little group, her own family that's in her own personal church, going around ranting on a dead soldier. This man has died in a war, and she's saying he deserves to go to hell. Obviously, you can see it continues here, but when she's on camera, this shows about the nuttiest part. Because the woman she's crazy.
Now, Shirley Phelps Roper, she's a spokeswoman for the Westboro, Kansas church that sponsors these demonstrations. Mrs. Roper, thank you.
She's smiling like she's doing us a favor, like she hasn't offended anybody. She's literally going to a funeral saying the man that died deserves to go to hell, and you can smile at that. I don't see how that's possible.
For joining us here on The Big Story.
Thank you for having me.
You just heard a heartfelt plea. This man was trying to bury his son. You were out there disturbing the whole, what was supposed to be a peaceful process. Why would you pick such a private, solemn time and add misery to these already grieving families?
See, this person's already obviously upset. Their son just died, and she has this sick, twisted attitude to go there. I find that really disturbing. I think I'm not the best, so I went out to ask Kenny and John, who are more familiar with religion than I am, and they seen this, and they said this woman's a bit nuts. I mean, it's one thing to say, to have your opinion, I guess, and I still don't agree with the whole thing about gays going to hell. I've never agreed on that subject. I've always thought that was a little messed up, and if you're seriously strong about that opinion, I suggest you don't watch this here or listen to me say this, but I really think, honestly, that saying that is a bit of a contradiction in creationism itself, because if God is supposed to love everybody, people are normally born gay. discovered, and if you're created that way, and you're created in the sense where somebody would hate you, I don't think God would create you to hate you, which is rather hypocritical and a huge paradox within creationism itself. So that's following your terms. That's why I don't agree with it. But still, I just find it wrong to discriminate against gays. So that's my reason, is just the whole fact that you would kind of block somebody out from communicating with them and thinking they're going to suffer. I find a pretty wrong and messed up way of thinking. But we'll continue here.
Well, they've got the misery part covered. They did that to themselves. But the reason we're outside the funeral...
He did not ask for his son to die in the war.
Okay, the reason we're outside, in the first place, we were hundreds of feet from that church. Secondly, between us and that building was a school. There was a group of those so-called Patriot Guard riders. There was police all around and media all around.
And I understand that you have the right to protest, but we're talking defamation here. And spreading lies on the web. Have you spread lies about his son? Have you gone on the internet and said that his son is gay, for example?
Of course not. You know, we didn't.
Some of your supporters have. If you're going to be the leader of a church, you can take responsibility for your supporters.
No, they have not.
We went online and I saw
that he's referring to that says Semper Fi Fags means you are always faithful to the facts. That's what this American military...
Man, I think it's disgusting that you even use the word.
And not only that, but you've sent away your day of grace, America's doomed. If
Okay.
they think that this lawsuit is going to work, then why don't they file a lawsuit against the Lord their God? They are messing with
Why
the
don't we
wrong
talk
God.
about your
He is the
Lord
one
and
that
your...
is...
No, I'm not going to get into my own argument with here. I'm going to have this woman kind of speak for anything regarding actual Christian Catholic religion. But that's... If you're hearing what this woman's saying right here, it's almost as if she kind of hates everybody then. I mean, even if you are religious, technically she still hates you because you don't follow her church. Okay, so that's a little sick there, but let's continue.
Killing those children.
Okay, let's talk about your God, because I don't know what planet you're from, but you say you thank God for IDs, you thank God for 9/11, you thank God for dead soldiers, thank God for AIDS. I thank God that you are not a leader of a real church. What you preach is hate, miss.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up. I mean, honestly, I think even anybody who is religious would probably find that a little, no, not a little, very disturbing. Thank God for 9/11, right off the bat, is a crazy statement to make, and that kind of means thank God for killing tons of people. Yeah, that's okay, this woman is making me really disturbed that this is even possible for somebody to think that way, but let's keep going.
What did God tell
You don't get to call the word of God hatred.
Oh, really? Who gives you
You're
the authority
messing
to
with the wrong
preach?
God.
Are you a preacher? Are you a minister? Are you brought down from heaven to preach your garbage? Oh, really?
That's his word, and you call it the scriptures, the Bible.
All right, then let's talk scripture.
Christian.
You want to
Why
preach?
don't you
Let's
pray
preach.
the time of the
Let's
Lord
preach.
your God?
Let's
and turn his
preach.
wrath from
What
you.
Bible are you reading? Let's go to the Bible. Let's go to scripture. Oh, really?
16:11.
Oh, wow, that's
Right.
funny. Okay, Leviticus 19:18. What does it read?
I'll tell you what it says.
Okay, go
I'm
ahead.
glad you brought that up.
Uh-huh.
It says, thou, it's Leviticus 19 verses 17.
No, it's 18.
No, 17 is where
To
you
18, but I'm going to read you 18
And it
after
says,
you're done.
thou shalt not suffer their sin upon them, but in any wise rebuke them.
Really?
That means you warn them that their sin is taking them to hell, and if you don't do that, you hate them.
Okay, let me tell you what the rest of the Bible says. Thou shalt not take vengeance nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
Oh, I see.
But thou shalt love thy neighbor as well. You are the devil. If you believe in the Bible, miss, you're going to hell.
Okay, so that should clear it up for me on my own, considering what this lady just said. I can't get around the fact that this woman thinks this way, but it's not even the end of that. That's not even it. That's just for that point, but she goes beyond
They did
this.
get killed, and they did that. Who controls the hearts of men? It was at the hand of an angry God. Those girls are dead.
They deserve to die?
They did deserve to die.
How can you possibly make a statement like that?
Because that's...
Just right there, they did deserve to die.
exactly what happened, and it happened
How
at
could
the
you
hand
possibly
of
say
the Lord
that?
your
How could you
God.
possibly say that young girls who've done nothing wrong, who are innocent, who are just a few years old, who've never sinned, who've never done anything, deserve to die? How could you possibly make a statement like
You told me that you serve the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who says that when Adam sinned, all sinned. There are no innocent human beings.
You know,
And their parents...
you protest funerals of soldiers. You protest funerals of anybody who it seems dies under any circumstances. Anybody who's not a member of your church is a sinner and is hated by God.
don't go to that.
I gotta take a break from this because this is way too big to be in one part. This is gonna be a two-part thing here. But this is ridiculous, this woman already. If you even want to continue seeing this nutty footage, go ahead and watch part 2. Out for now. See you in the next part.